Alright, hello everyone, and welcome to version 2 of Serious Slender Saturday. Alright, hello everyone.
Now with more intro and an intro song.
And even with more echoing from my own computer because I don't know what I'm doing, but I think we've figured that out now, so time to introduce everyone. So today we have me, Luke Tor, I'm from Goonswarm Federation. We have Cryo Huron, a director in Goonswarm. We have Sin Alama, a wormhole person, who I don't know all that much about, but I'm sure he'll tell us a lot about himself and what he does.
That's
And we
everything.
have Kale, who, yeah, he's Kale. He chords test and the
That sounds about right. You said it, not me.
all right. On the agenda for today, the state of wormhole space, possible gameplay improvements, future doctrine and politics
What do we
mode,
have, Luke,
and
today on the
Did
agenda?
Luke's internet just
grab-
drop again? Oh god.
I mean, I'll run it, guys. We've got some great announcements from CCP. They're ending scarcity. All asteroids will have unlimited minerals from now on. Every mineral as well in the game. No?
I don't know about you, but I'm erect if that's true.
I would regret selling my Rockwell.
I regret losing my Rockle.
all right, I can confirm that
Yeah, I
I
sold
am
mine
bad
like
and
3 days ago for like triple what
need
I
to
bought it
restart
for.
Discord because
Thank you,
I forgot to
CCP.
run it in admin mode. Will be 1 second.
So Luke's going through some stuff. So while he's going through some stuff, I don't know if
So
I can lose audio or not.
the
Alright, we'll see you all in
good.
a couple of minutes, Luke.
Yeah, same sound audio, same time. Be back in like a minute.
We can trash talk my tech skills once I restart Discord. Give us a minute, guys.
God damn it.
Alright, are we back?
Are you back?
Yes.
I'm here.
Yeah, we're here.
Alright, cool. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, we can.
Where were we? Are we going to start with wormholes? Tell us how fucked wormholes are, Sin.
Wormholes are great. You should come.
Are they spawning?
Find yourself a little plot of land. I mean, as the saying goes, you know, you can buy dirt. So come on in, take SOV without the SOV, and yeah, come to the
There's
wormholes.
no local, I don't like it.
You can no, there is local. There's 100% local in wormholes. You can type in there whenever you want.
I don't know. Isn't the usual rule going through wormholes is don't fucking talk in wormholes?
It's up to you. It's like make your own rules. Don't be held back.
There's no gates I can hell camp with the super carrier.
That's true. You cannot hell camp with a super carrier, but you can hell camp with like a dreadnought.
You can hellcamp wormholes with carriers, can't you?
Yeah.
close
You
enough.
definitely should. And think of the cost savings. No supers, just carriers. Like what's a super now? Like like 1,000 bill?
I brought mine for 9.5 bill at the start of the war, and now they're like what 40.
Yeah.
The
So think of how many
fuck was
you can
your
have 10
carrier fit with?
carriers.
Sorry, what was that?
What was your carrier fit with for that price?
I brought it rigged 9.5, and then the fit was not that expensive.
Damn, mine was cheaper.
And I brought my Titan fully fit for like 40 bill. Start of the war.
It's not too bad.
It's very cheap.
So yeah, now like a
40
super's
bill.
worth more than like a fit Titan was at the start of the war.
Yeah.
Titans are now like 200 bill. Crying got his for 40 bill. Not too bad, not too bad.
Oh god, the bloody changes. It used to be cost effective. You could drop 20 dreads on a super and still come out ISK positive if you lost all the dreads. And now it's like, yeah, nah, you can drop like 6, and if you lose them, you're even.
Someone's saying to check my kill board because I don't even have 500 kills. It's like alts don't exist, I guess.
You don't have any alts, Crow?
None at all. I definitely don't have a dedicated super alt or a dedicated Titan alt. That's for losers.
Sarandan. Is that you, Sandra?
Probably
Is that
is.
Sandra and Stone? Come on the show, you cow.
But no, like to answer your question directly, like, wormholes are pretty good. So probably over the last I don't know 8, 9, 12 months, like there's certainly been an increase in people that are ratting in wormholes. I wouldn't say there's more wormhole PvP groups that are growing, but there's certainly more people ratting. Like our guys have been watching really closely on like the what's the thing called, the monthly, what's that report they do, economy report.
MER?
Economy report, yeah.
Yeah, and like if you look at that, right now you make the same amount in wormholes as you do in all of nullsec. So all wormholes, all nullsec, the same amount of ISK has been made. It's pretty stable for the last few months, but there's a lot less people, right, that are in wormholes. So arguably, less people, same amount of ISK versus nullsec. You're actually making more ISK in wormholes right now, which is kind of cool.
How much of that is because every single nullsec entity that's of a significant size was all cramped up in one region for 12 months?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens, right? So we haven't seen it go down. So I think I flicked one of you gentlemen a bit of a graph, but even since the end of the war, it's still going up, and it kind of went up a little bit more. So I don't know if because you guys don't have to sit and stare at a gate or whatever it is you guys do, that you've actually been able to rat a bit more. But there's certainly more ratting in the last month in wormholes than ever in Eve. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be like MER in like 3 more months is going to be interesting. That's going to be
Yeah,
like who's going to
100%.
recover the hardest.
Yep. No. No. Nah, we get forgotten. Like, there's no mechanic benefit to wormholes. They are the same thing they've been for a long time. Yeah, it's a hard slog because we don't have a CSM guy in the room or a girl. Yeah, and I think to be fair, CCP needs to focus on low and worm and nullsec, sorry, to get you guys back again. I think.
You'd think wormholes would be in a better space. Like I heard Hilmar was a wormhole.
Yeah, I heard that as well. I don't know, man. I get around and I haven't seen anything that resembles Hilmer in here.
But like wormhole, like I saw on Reddit, like wormholers having a CSM member would imply that they're able to band together for the common good and not be at each other's throat forever.
I mean, a wormhole are nearly made on the CSM. Like, I think they came 11th. I mean, obviously, they didn't make it in, but they got close.
We should have one. Not specifically because wormholers should have one, but it's just a different style of game, right? Like I truly don't understand what happens with you guys in Null. Like I've been in Null for a very short period of time, and I just don't understand the mechanics. And there's nothing wrong with that, and
Yeah.
vice versa. So having someone that understands the mechanics of wormholes would make sense. But
Yeah, I mean, I day trip into wormholes occasionally. I just treat it like one giant anomaly. I'm just like, here's a wormhole, I'll go into it. Okay, I've done everything in the wormhole. I'm going back through home now. I'm back in Delve. Alright, I'm done. Bye.
yeah.
I'm never gonna live there because that sounds like ass.
I don't know, man. Like, I really enjoy it. Like, I don't think if I'd play Eve if we didn't have the wormhole like concept. I just don't know if it'd engage me.
I lived in a wormhole for a while with a bunch of mates of mine, and then the guy that was like running everything went and sold all the stuff and just walked off with all the fucking ISK. It was like, well, fuck you, bitch.
Yeah. I mean, Citadels have broken that a little bit. So
No, that
just
was
like
with the Citadel. We had
really,
Citadel when the pos just outside of it, yeah.
well, good on him.
Well,
And
he was a real life mate. He
terrible CEO.
was a real life mate, and yeah, he thought ruin like 5 real life friends, friendship over like fucking 20-40 bill.
I don't know what to say to that.
He's a fucking dickhead, is what he is, a dumb cunt. There you go, Sid. Are you happy?
I think they are.
So that's wormholes there in an alright space.
How's
Right on.
Nullsec doing? There we go. Let me throw a question back to you.
Oh man, these ratting ticks aren't great.
Oh.
I get why you'll run out of money. Shit.
I saw Briss stream. He was out mining.
I was raiding today in a Marauder, and I wasn't impressed with the ticks.
Could
Hopefully
you
that
tick harder? Overheat the
Um,
modules?
I mean, if I probably could chain the anomalies a bit better and pick the anomalies a bit better, but like I was getting like
My
30 mil
understanding
tick.
of nullsec is you just fire up more Gila bots, right?
Yeah, I was getting 30 mil ticks with a paladin, so I was like, it was alright. But not considering it's like a 3 billion ship. That's
Yeah.
What are they running though? Like, is it? Yeah, I can hear you. Is it like Ishtars and Gillas? Is that what you're running? Yeah, I can hear you. Is it like Ishtars
in
and Gillas? Is
Delve,
that what
it's
you're running?
best to use a Myrmidon if you're AFKing because it's cheap and you make your money back in like 3 ticks.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's you guys were giving a shit for using vexes for ratting because you're like, oh, you're afraid to lose anything expensive. But yeah, you can see now firsthand the reason we weren't using anything big to rat is it's just not cost effective.
I mean, we were telling everyone to use Myrmidons for like the last 3 years. Or 2 years, because VNIs were the king and then they got nerfed.
But my look at the Delta in the last say 3 weeks or so, it's clear to me that there's more than just subcaps rating, right? Like I can see it on the Delta that it's probably carriers and potentially supers rating. I can't fathom that it's that many subcaps rating.
Like super rating is still not viable in Delve yet, just because we don't have the infrastructure set up to do it. Like we don't have beacons in place and things like that, so we can't like rapidly or bridges, so we can't rapidly respond to stuff just yet. But there's we've lost a couple of rating carriers already, so people are already out doing that.
Yeah, I'm like so I do a bit of bombers bus stuff, and I'm very excited that the game is opening up again for that because it's good content, right? Like a carrier is what 3 bill, what's 4 or 5 bill to fit it, whatever. Like the amount of people that get content out of that now, because I remember, man, like for the last little while, like rolling into Delve was just like, roll it off, like it's boring.
So I'm looking forward to using the Pochvan super highway to go and mess around over in the drone
Yeah,
lanes.
100%. Why not?
And I'm pretty sure Rote Capel is waiting to nom you up as you try.
There's no way that you can be interdicted doing it unless they're very, very smart. Or very quick on the draw because you just filament into Pochvan and then can instantly just blops bridge out and you're into like horde regions, drone regions, frat region. There's like so many, like all the Pochvan systems, not all of them, but the vast majority of them are like right on the edge of like frat space or close to horde space or gem in it.
But I guess like from like I don't understand the PvE side of what Pochman was about, but the concept of it being like this crazy like sewage system, like subway if you like, getting across is pretty cool, right? Like surely if you can go anywhere, anyone can get to you, right? Is that not the thing?
Well, you get filamented into the middle of space.
Oh yeah, but
So-
filamenting a big nullsec fleet must be ridiculous.
Oh yeah, no, there's no point. But you can move over like quite a few bombers really easily because filaments will send you to a certain like a certain segment. They're split up into different parts of Pochvan. And you just filament like 25, like 3 groups of 25 dudes over with like a blops with each 25, and you light your out sino because you know roughly where you're gonna go. You just have your sinos pre-stage, and then boom, you're immediately in Jones' place with 75 bombers.
It's pretty cool. Like, I mean, but people love that shit. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't go the other way. Like there's no Pochvan stuff really near our space, which is nice. So.
Huh. But you got the NPC thing, right? So people can go to the Delve NPC.
The Delve NPC space is going to be some of the most like dangerous NPC space for years. Like, like if you move dreads out of there, what are you doing? There's going to be dreads for days in there for forever now, more so than there already was.
Yeah, Pochvan seems to be the place to make money at the moment.
Do you
It
reckon?
can be. You can with the right kind of group.
Yeah.
But obviously you still get shot pretty easily.
Like my mates are telling me they're making like billions a day just doing shit in there, and I'm just like, fucking hell. And not even like, full going, like 8 hours. Like, they spend a couple of hours each day, make a few bill. It's like, fuck.
So why wouldn't one of the major blocks take over that EPVE thing if they're making so much and not making enough in the nullsec? Is it because you can't co-ord the groups, like because people just want to log on and rat, or?
Well, you can't put down structures and you can't bring in capitals. What's there is there. They're grandfathered.
Yeah.
And if you die, it's basically wormhole space in K space. So if you die, you just get yeeted back out, and then you've got to go through all the hassle of free shipping and trying to get in and getting to wherever the fuck the fight is.
Don't die.
Oh, yeah, obviously that's always the goal.
Logistics is actually not hard to get in and out.
Mm.
You can't, because there's still NPC stations, right? So you can still dock and stage out of those. But you can just load up Orca with all your shit and fill them in, and then I'm not in the right system. I'll just cloak up and then fill them in again in 15 minutes. Like, it's really easy. Like, it's like, if any, like, it's the same, works the other way. Like, right, if you want to get out of wormhole space risk free, you just undock that Orca full of stuff and yeet yourself out.
I'm trying to work out if the shitlords in chat are your shitlords or our shitlords or just third party shitlords.
I think they're just all Australian shitlords.
Shitlords,
so
yeah.
so the cream of the shitlord punch. Crop, not punch. What the fuck?
But yeah, that's about all I know about wormholes. Is you can fill them and out of them really easily, which means evictions aren't as
Oh man, like
brutal now.
it's hard. Like I mean, and I imagine you guys don't want to talk all day about wormholes, but there's so much. So yeah, filaments have fundamentally changed some of the concepts, but it hasn't broken anything. Yeah, so yeah, you're right. You could filament out.
Oh, you can fill them out of wormholes, can you?
Yeah. So
So if you get stuck, you don't need to pay like Eve Scout to come and
no.
help you. You can just fill them in the fuck out.
Yeah. So like if you're in a ship without probes, right? Like you just have two filaments, one for Pochven and one out of Pochven, and yeah, you're good to go. But arguably that's what Eve Scout's doing, right? Like Eve Scout put the filaments in the little cans now. So if you're lost, you pay them whatever it is, and you can fill them out. It's pretty snaz. I wouldn't say it's broken evictions. It's certainly made them frustrating, but yeah, I don't know. Like evictions are still occurring, although there's a current bit of a political thing at the moment where a lot of groups are banded together. So there's sort of an anti-eviction sort of mindset at the moment.
So some kind of wormhole pappy.
Yeah, like a wormhole pappy, I guess, but not quite. Yeah.
I'm curious. So what was the story with 1RFC Astra?
The first Royal Fleet Corps 07 mates. Yeah, tell us about that Astra House.
This is one I shot.
I
Yeah.
believe so, yeah.
Oh right, sorry. Yeah, so it's actually quite a good story, and to be fair, I would be stealing from one of my dudes. So that particular wormhole is a C2. So C2s are the class 2, they're the second from the bottom. But it has a nullsec static, which makes it really lucrative. There's not actually that many C2s with a nullsec static exist in the game, and it's quite a good one. So what was the name of their corp? Anyway, the Villi corp came in
The
there.
first Royal Fleet Corps.
Yeah, the
and
first Royal Fleet Corps. So they
then
came in.
unwritten, you have to have 07 mates on the end of it.
Ah, 07 mate. So they came in and essentially provided terms to one of my guys and pretty much said that, you are to hand over the wormhole to us. Like, this wormhole belongeth to us. No questions asked. And they actually did like a video message. It's quite good. And I wish I had it handy to play on the stream, but I don't. Maybe next time.
Oh, you have
And
to send that to me.
yeah, for sure. And so there was some discussion about purchasing the whole. It got to a point where Dylan, some guy named
Darren.
D, Darren pretty much said like, "Don't you know who we are?" As in, we're test. Like we will bring heaven and earth to evict this hole. So the negotiations failed. They refed the structure. They plonked down their own. We showed up for their structure, and they refused to fight. They just sat in the pos with 15, 20 dudes, and yeah, we left, and that was it. Bit of a shame, because like I honestly thought we were going to get a fight. Like I came home early from work, and yeah.
I saw the Reddit post. If did you actually end up reading the Reddit post about it, Sin?
I've seen a couple, yeah.
Yeah, where Darren was like, yeah, no, that was all on me. And here's my fit, and yes, you'll notice a core's missing because I forgot it.
Oh yeah, so we formed like there was like 4 of us or 5 of us, so we formed and we hit our little fleet and we waited for it to be refed. Sorry, to be anchored and to put the core in, because we were like, oh yeah, we may as well get a core out of this, and it just didn't happen. And we're like, they must know we're here. Like we were wigging out, like they must know that we're already here. Yeah, and I guess you forgot the core, right?
It's an interesting story, yeah.
That's a shame.
Anything else to touch on wormholes, Sin, while you're here?
No,
Or
never.
EDU?
EDU, yeah. So EDU is happening in November. I want to say the 19th. That's what's on the
Yep.
top of my head, but I'd have to have a look.
19th.
Unfortunately, it's going to be online this year, right? So I've been working really closely with CCP for it. We're trying to bend them to do all sorts of funky stuff for us. It's not easy, but it'll happen. Like last year, it'll be online. There'll be a PvP tournament. A lot of the details I've failed to get out just because I'm super busy in real life. But look, it'll be good. It's certainly not going to be good as drinking in a pub with your mates at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm also a part of the organization crew. I've been plugging EDU as my closing on every Twitch stream I've been on. Yeah, guys, come on, make sure you're there for it. And yeah, I'm kind of disappointed. We did come up with some plans to try to circumvent COVID, but I don't think any of us actually anticipated an outbreak of this severity.
Yeah, and I've just gone back into lockdown too, so GG, boys.
New Zealand, yeah.
Yeah,
For those wondering, EDU is Eve Down Under. It is the Australian version of like Eve Vegas
Without the Vegas.
without the Vegas.
I kind of gave up on going to Australia this year after the F1 got cancelled, but
Yeah.
I still love you guys are like, don't bother us. The F1's on. I'm like, sweet, now's a great time to run a fleet. That was great.
and that's why test is now.
Oh, come at us, man.
You
It's
guys
not
aren't
hard.
even there
Then
yet. Like, how can we shoot? Like, we're already shooting your stuff in Outer Passage.
Oh, the one uncontested, undefended fort in the middle of fucking nowhere.
There's an Athenor too, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah, I think that was one of the corps. They found a wormhole early on and shipped all of their stuff in and had to drop something down to to hold it.
Oh man, like I'm just looking at Outer Passage and I'm just very confused as to why anyone would want to live there. Like, doesn't look good, fam. Not a good region.
Try speaking again, Luke.
yeah, can you guys still not hear me on stream? You should be able to.
Yeah, I can hear you on stream.
I can hear loud and clear.
Okay. Cool. That's working now. But yeah, looking at the map, you can see that like Outer Passage is kind of surrounded by like FRT, Hordes, NC. Like they've created like a barrier of their ex-Pappy allies to protect them from the Imperium.
Big scary Imperium.
It's a nice couch, maybe. It's like got a lot of walls around it.
I got a nice couch. I got an Aeon. I was quite happy.
But that makes sense, right? Like that's what you want to do, right? Like work with the people you've worked with in the past. I mean, if Reddit's to be believed, like unfortunately, Test is in a difficult position where there's an appetite to hit them hard. So you'd want to be in a position that you can rely on friends if you need it, right?
I mean, Tess has been in a position before where we've had nothing to our name but the clothes on our back, and we've built up from that to what we were before the war and during. And even if it happens again, I am quite confident that we will build back up again. You know, it's the ebb and flow of Eve. It happens. You
Yeah, I
either
think
roll
so.
with the punches or you fade away into obscurity.
Yeah, I think so. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like, I mean, the other groups in the game. I mean, and if we wanted to talk examples, like, I mean, Goons did go and crush the North last year or whenever it was, and like they went back to ratting. Like, these things happen.
Yeah. Look, as I said, I wouldn't change it for the world. I think the war was great fun. I got to meet some amazing people, got to have some awesome fights, got to learn some good shit, and I learned what not to do in a lot of situations as well. And I think a lot of us here as FCs or having FC'd in the past know that one of the massive things to learn in like FCing is losing's not bad as long as you learn from it.
What did you learn from this war? Is it never start a land war and delve?
Bubbles are broken and can destroy an entire region. Look, I shit you not, man. Towards the end of that, I would literally jump the gate into DTAC W from T5Z and spawn in the sun, and there was only one other person in system, and I'm like, you've got to be fucking kidding me.
Into DTAC W?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I know you guys being locked in your little couple of systems for so long weren't really aware, but just traveling around anywhere inside of Delve was fucked half the time. I think M2 actually broke the entire region.
Yeah, I've noticed that with a lot of big fights. Like, after a huge fight happens, the server just feels like it's hungover for like a day or two. It's really weird.
Look, guys, if you I didn't start this. I wasn't actually in the command position. Thank you very much. I wish, but I wasn't. Actually, I don't wish. I don't want that demotion. Look, if you guys want to come in and chat shit, jump on the New Eden Post Discord. Jump in to drag me. We'll drag you in. You can introduce yourself and come chat shit with us.
So, having listened to ProGod's Town Hall for test, you guys are going to be in Outer Passage for like 4 or 5 months to earn some money and then move somewhere else, is the current plan?
I believe that's the current plan. Yeah, with scarcity ending, there might be greener pastures out there.
My current, I have some questions.
I don't know if I can answer them, but I'll try to the best of my ability.
Small points of order, like I'm like how bad the ratting is in Delve in current space. I can't imagine Outer Passage is going to be much better. You got
I
a lot of
think it's mainly mining is going to be the good shit up there. Apparently, there's a lot of good mining anomalies.
there's no good mining anomalies anywhere.
Well,
It all got nerfed.
better than most.
I guess we've officially transitioned to the Great Krabbening
There is one
topic
cycle,
now.
Luke, and it is crab.
Just all around the galaxy.
I thoroughly encourage if you're in nullsec to start grabbing again. Do it. Get it out there.
I mean,
Some of us
like,
just aren't crabbers.
look, we had a
You should take up your pitchfork and start. Whatever. What do you do with hay? Like bale hay? Shovel
Stab
hay?
it.
Yeah.
Stab hay?
Stab it.
Look, we had we had an R4 pop a couple of days ago, and we had like 20 raw calls on it.
Do you want to let me know where that is and roughly when?
It was in Delve.
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
like
Provide me
Delve
with a
is
drifter hole route to it.
like we had an R4 pop, and it got mined out almost immediately because 20 raw calls just went, "Oh God, I need to mine. I haven't mined for a year and a half." And
The junkie scratching their inner arm like fix.
yeah, like
to it.
it's already been, it got stripped like very, very quickly, but it's just so funny seeing that many raw calls on an R4.
I saw Brisk streaming and he was mining, and yeah, there was so many out there. You guys are like locusting everything at the moment.
We're not even doing locust, that's just people mining by themselves.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
We're setting up all them stuff for locust. Like I get a stream of what structures are getting dropped in Delve based on the SI stuff. And
There's
that's
some
just like
questions in the chat
ethanol,
about
ethanol.
like what does scarcity changes mean to wormholes and nullsec. What's the other one? What do people want to raw calls? We already spoke that.
Hello, welcome Mike Flood, also known as Tom Flood, and Big Bill, the Southern Base boss.
Ooh.
Why are they here?
Oh, you fucking cunts.
Why
just
Why are
have
you
it.
guys away?
Hello, cunt.
I just woke up and I saw that Luke was live, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna appear.
Hello,
Because
Flood.
This is, for those who don't know, this is Tom/Mike Flood. He is in charge of our FC program in the Gunswarm Federation, one of the two, along with his better half, David Archer.
He's a young and upcoming star in the EVE Online world.
Every day is his birthday, yet he continually remains 17 years old. And the other person who's just joined is Big Bill the Boss, head of the Bloodhound Gang.
Is he also Goonswarm?
And also a really good parody composer as well.
Oh, he does good raps. So
Yeah.
Bill is our infamous Blood Raiders advocate.
I just get into a whole bunch of shit, really.
Did
But
I
Blood
sum-
Raiders is the most notorious, I guess,
Did I
because
sum both you guys up properly?
I think so.
So is Mike the new Faulty then?
According to Horrendous, no.
So
Faulty
Faulty
7,
7.
Peter Attack Supremacy.
Yeah, so he used to be your one of your top dog FCs, especially in the AUTZ, and he started playing when he was like 15 or something, back when I was a part of the CFC. And the meme was every day was his birthday, and he was pretty good. I wasn't actually around. Yeah, yeah. Well, Mike Flood would be Faulty V2. I think it was the same deal. Were you kicking around back then, Cryo?
I've been played on and off for years, so no, I wasn't actually.
All right, I think it was the same thing. I think he was like, "Hey guys, I'm finally 16," and it was kind of like just every day. It was like, you jump in a fleet after Faulty pinged. It was like, "Happy birthday, Faulty," and yeah, just kind of went on forever.
Wait,
I think
thought Faulty was like
I blame Sadus. I blame I blame Zekin. One of the guys I like talked to, and he was like he kept saying it, and it was just annoying as fuck. I hated it for the longest time. I was like, why the fuck? And fucking Azure said it, or one of those fucks. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, like I was just kind of pissed off about it. Whatever. And eventually, I was like, fuck this shit. You know what? I really don't care. Like, I really care less what people say. Like, I've been called a shit FC a million times. I mean, happy birthday ain't that bad.
Yeah, I get the happy birthday thing just because I'm Aussie.
I feel like you do care though. Like you say you don't. I say I don't, but I do care. Do you want to
Mike,
cuddle?
you're using a lot of vulgarity for such a young lad.
But
Yeah.
Serious Land this Saturday. It wouldn't be an Aussie show if he wasn't being a vulgar prick.
I like how the ones being
Jay.
the ones being vulgar pricks aren't even like Aussies. Holy shit!
I know, right? Jesus fuck. We gotta figure out game up.
They just better
Nah,
not use
Mike's
our words.
Mike's
All
a
the
solid FC. I don't know why. I don't really understand why people give him shit. I mean, he does better than like 50% of the current active FCs across the Eve galaxy, and he's like got some growing to do. No offense, Mike, but you're fucking young. So aside from that, like,
I mean, there's a lot of FCs started off really young. I know Elo started off real young. Towad is like also really young. I'm pretty
Pro
sure.
God, Faulty. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Pro God is young.
Yeah,
I was
Luke,
gonna
you
say,
can't
like,
talk, bro. Holy
I
shit!
was gonna say like fucking ASP, Elo, Killa. Yeah, I mean,
Jay.
yeah, Jay.
Yeah, we all got stuck in this fucking pyramid scheme young, didn't we? I mean, video game.
I started when I was like 14, 15. I started playing like Eve at like 13. So
So there's a chat question about how does scarcity affect null second wormholes? If anyone wants to zero
I
in.
don't.
Nullsec basically anomalies got turbo fucked. It's not really worth ratting super hard, mostly because of surgical strike changes and the Sino changes mean you couldn't super rat.
So
as
why does
easily.
Frat do it then? Like why does Frat mine and rat and shit, but no one else does?
We've been at war for a year and a half, so we haven't. But Frat has a standing fleet setup where if you're out in a super or a raw call, you have to be in the standing fleet with like immune and doctrine shit. At least that was last I heard. So, and they have a traffic light system. So if they have like green lights up, they have an FC on standby ready to form and drop. So when we send out a whaling fleet, like they will respond within 5 minutes.
But Cry, wasn't that a thing in Goons? Like, wasn't that? I mean, exactly what you said there, minus maybe having a mutant ready to go.
Well, here's
like,
the
you
thing.
guys had Theta, right?
Well, here's the thing. I will say this: Norris just Norris, to give him credit here, that man does a lot. And like, you'll just, casually, say we take a whaling fleet out. Norris probably has a spy in our fleet, no matter what, if we ping for anything whaling related. He probably does for tests too. He probably does for most alliances in the game. You know what I mean?
Our standing fleet was it was effective if you were in the standing fleet, but there was a significant amount of slow thinkers that were not incorporated into said fleets and stuff. So every single like probably 98% of the supers and Rorquals and shit that died in Delve were people who are not like integrated into the system that we had established.
Or bad intel. I think it's something we can agree Eve-wide. Bad intel. I'm tackled.
So do you think?
Who?
Do you
Me.
think now
Where
that
are you
you've
tackled?
This character.
In the
Where?
belt.
The system. What
In the-
fucking belt?
But do you
Uh,
think with the retaking of Delve, you'll have learnt that and you'll be able to reintegrate it, and then you'll be as big as Fret, right? Like, because
we have restarted up. So JU standing's dead, mostly because half the alliance can't find JU on a map. So now we have a new standing fleet, and that's starting to spin back up now. Yeah.
All I have to say is, why does it matter what it's called? But at the same time, like why does it matter? That's just called JU standing. But whatever, man. Like
Because JU standing was is Jew standing,
I
and
know,
back
I
in the
know,
day
I
it
know
was
what
like
JU is.
humor, and it's 2021 now.
How you
So
doing, Colby?
sorry.
So
Hey, how's it going? My name's Colby. I'm the CEO of Great White Hunters, which is a wormhole PvP group.
hey mate,
And at war with sin, or just fighting each other when you see each other?
We've worked together in the past. We've killed them, they've killed us. Sometimes, yeah. Bit of just friendly banter.
So
100%.
Should be.
Wormholes is very different in Null, where you don't really have like a standing positive or negative relate. Yeah, you don't really have those standing things. Sure, there's grudges and positives, but as a general rule, everyone is neutral and you just shoot each other, unless you call on each other and then you're friends for that day or the next day.
So my good friend Hammy Ham has provided me with some questions and topic starters.
Oh, good.
He was on
So
the show last fortnight, wasn't he?
I believe he was. So he has asked, what's the deal with that Brave Corp that's moved over to PL? I think that was a Facial Wipes Corp.
I think that PL has seen that they need some bravery in their alliance after Itachi kiting around and fucking jackdaws the whole fucking war and not brawling like a man. So they recruited a guy from Brave who still kites the fuck around.
There's nothing wrong with
And
enjoying jackdaws. Jackdaws are a good, strong ship.
Oh,
yeah, yes, but I don't think. Yeah, no, but like it's the literal truth for the war was, hey yo, there's a PL fleet on grid. What are they in? If it was headliner, sometimes Eagles if headliner had enough people, or 90% of the time a jackdaw fleet. It's like I don't think I saw Itachi fly anything but jackdaws the whole war.
I mean, memes aside, like jokes aside, PL has to recruit new blood or absorb new blood from somewhere else. They're like actually going to die
Yeah,
as an
I mean,
alliance.
maybe the big news this week will be that Brave merges into PL because they're still fucking taking. I don't know the whole Gemnet situation, but occasionally I just see either Brave does really well or they get bodied by like all the Russians and shit up there. You know.
It's one of those things where PL's like creation of a splinter entity of Horde has kind of been their own death, because now the tail is wagging the dog, as it were.
Well, anybody who lives in space that's within NPC station range is going to suffer significantly. It's just that we were able to outproduce the loss, I guess.
It also kind of like people are a bit more used to it, and then like yeah, my biggest thing in the game that I hate is that not every region in the game can be hit by NPC space. I think every agent in the game should be able to hit by NPC space. Oh shit! Warped Intentions lost the Titan this morning. Nice.
Oh, did they?
White
to
Sky
be fair,
killed them.
all wormholes can be hit by NPC space. Just so you guys know.
Yeah, White Sky killed him. It's a guy named T-Red. He has 0 things on his kill board. He didn't even have a pod in his levy, and he looks to have all of it. No, he actually had nothing, really nothing inside of him. 95 bill levy.
So that was the entirety of Warped Intention Superfleet dead?
The entirety of Warped Intention Superfleet died a long time ago. I wouldn't call that's their bridging fleet cryo.
I'm pretty sure we killed another Warped Intentions levy in Delve as they were trying to leave.
I think we did. No, I don't think it was Warped Intentions. I think that was another group, but
I'm gonna go take a look right now and see what that other one was, just to make sure that my joke is accurate.
I don't.
As for what Brave's doing, I'm not 100%, man. They're off doing their thing now.
Oh, that was Eternal Requiem.
Mako 13's now like FCing for them, and then like it's Mako like Shattered, who Jesus, and yeah, because whatever Rayliff left, and like a lot of people were leaving now, so
Yeah, Dunk's gonna have a hard time cleaning up the what essentially is the gum that people stuck up under the desk in Brave.
Brave refuses to do an AFK purge, which is a huge problem for them. It just like hides a lot of issues under the sheer weight of, there's like 50,000 people in the Alliance. Meanwhile, forms 12 dudes.
well, like they still they form a bunch of dudes like they did the other night. Like they were fighting Tissue, and they formed like 100 and something dudes, but they still had to bat phone frat before they could break a 30-man Tissue fleet. Like they're only flying Feroxes right now.
Like that's actually a good segue into the next point. Is are Brave now frat pets? Because it seems like they've been bat phoning frat quite a bit.
I think best thing I can say is Norris is looking at Brave with, hey, I can recruit a lot of USTZ and a lot of EUTZ really quickly if this group fail skates. So he's looking at it like the prying eyes, I feel like.
Well, that's Frat's like big Achilles heel, right? Is there still one TZ wonders right now?
No, I mean
that's a really good point actually. Brave merging into Frat would be a pretty big power move.
Well, I don't think Dunk would ever go like, oh yes, we're merging into fraternity. I think eventually Corpse will start heading over, and Corpse already have headed over from Brave into Winterco alliances. I think Winterco has like, I think Norris has big brain plans going on in his head, but we'll see. You know what I mean?
But surely, I mean, I have no idea about the Nullsec meta politics, but surely aligning yourself with Frat is a good move right now, right? Like they're the big kids, right, after this war. So why wouldn't you want to align with them positively?
Frat.
Well, it's not just that they're the big kids; it's that they have a lock on their time zone. Like there's not really any kind of like competition to really challenge them.
Yeah, they are the AUTZ, CNTZ, AUTZ power block at the moment.
I mean, the only time I felt really concerned in AUTZ was when I knew Frat was coming, because they had the sheer numbers just to blitz through whatever we did.
Yeah, then we see the Super Zagaris and we're like, fuck this shit, we're going home.
And then they'd get then the bombs would come out because
Dracarys
has a lot of bombs.
We in the AU, I think we lost the one, like the big one. But after we learnt that lesson, the AU, we made sure to have defenses against it. The other time zones, not so much. But I think we only ended up having one like bomber fuck up on the E-Tech V game 3 Tech D.
There was 2 in AU if I remember correctly. I have to go though because I have practice. So I will see y'all later. Y'all have a great day.
What are you practicing for?
Sports. Don't worry about it.
Sports. You wouldn't understand, nerd.
No, I really don't care. Also, I just like to say, thank you to Pandemic Horde for picking up our trash, i.e. Ichinumi, and letting him FC and feed into us constantly. I appreciate it.
Ooh, shots fired.
So one other one piece that I was gonna talk about in the bombing stuff is Dracarys has some scary bomber RCs that really weren't shouted out about enough by us. Like they were
Really?
pulling off some big brain plays in ATZ and working really well. Like because the language barrier, I wasn't sharing comms with them, and we have some Chinese speaking cohorts who would be in shared comms with them just to relay things back and forth, and then I'd just hear, oh, here comes Dracarys doing a bombing run, and I'd just watch and then just see half a fleet disappear. Because every time they just pull out some big brain play that I had no idea was going on because I wasn't in communication with them like I was with like the 4 other fleets would have out.
You're not talking. You're keying up in stream, but you're not talking again. I don't know what you changed.
I heard
I
y'all,
heard him.
yeah.
No,
I
I
can't
heard
say
him.
if it's on stream.
Yeah, I can hear Luke fine on normal time. On
But
normal
is it-
Discord
But
stuff,
not
yeah.
yet, not on stream though. He's can you chat? Can you guys hear Luke again, or is he like on? Luke's muted again. Okay.
sake?
Is this one of those things where they like, or people are fucking with you? And
No, I've got the stream unmuted. I can't hear Luke.
It's alright. I'll figure it out. You still can't hear me?
Oh no, can hear you now.
Okay. Okay. So
Do
as I
whatever
was,
you're doing now. Just leave it.
I legit did not change anything, but whatever. um, as I was saying, one of the big 1DQ fights, we had a big subcap brawl, and Pappy eventually decided to get the hell out of Dodge. So they formed a Jackdaw fleet to suicide, to save the hack fleets that were going through the gate. And
I
what
was
ended up
running that.
happening? What ended up happening was a bunch of the hacks got saved from like stuck ADCs from super bad tie-dye. But what happened to the Jackdaws was I think Dracarys put in one initial bombing run, and then Alice came in with like a round of 2 boosh bombers and got most of the Jackdaws with that.
Actually, I remember that one. So the bush bombs kept failing. I think you guys, out of every 10, you might have succeeded on 2. So during that war, I
I think it's
worked
a bit
out
higher than that.
yeah, probably maybe 9 out of every 10 died. So what actually happened was it wasn't just the 3 bombing runs, because I worked out a system of how many defenders we needed and when to press it, and even like a successful timing for bush bombs in tie-dye. And so you split them out throughout the squads, and the problem is we ran out of defenders because of the tie-dye and you guys being able to reship and just get out there and re-bomb. We ended up stopping about 7, and there was still like 20 seconds left on the first squad's defender launches, and we watched those bombs come in. It was just like, all right, guys, defense mode, try to get out, fucking Valhalla.
There was one fight I remember being teed up, and we heard that you guys were flash forming, so I started spinning up the wood chipper. Hadn't gotten one side of the gate set up as quickly as I'd like, and then you guys jumped through, got bombed, and immediately went home and stood down. I remember that being one night of fights. That was actually very bizarre.
This probably wasn't one when I was
Would you have done it a different way?
I don't
Kyle?
know.
Like,
But they just jumped through, immediately got bombed, and went, well, we're done, boys. Let's go home.
yeah, I know, but like if you were on the other side, like would you have done a thing differently?
I don't know. It's just
Not get
very
bombed.
weird to me. They still had like they only lost like one fleet. Could have reshipped and tried again.
There were quite a few times, and I don't really think this is upset because you probably already know shit what's going on. There were quite a few times where we would form to get you guys forming interested in 3 TAC D while we went and did something somewhere else with the rest of the coalition.
I
So
don't
you
think
guys
it's
would be
upset
like,
anymore though, Kale. Like I mean,
well, yeah.
it's done, right? Like you're not going to 1DQ again for a while.
Well, it's like, and like they obviously, because there's been a few times where I've seen you guys be like, oh, they formed just to hide the fact that they were going
Yeah.
to shoot something across space, and yeah, so you guys like knew we were doing it, but I think that was one of those times where like, all right, let's keep them interested. Think we're going for 3 TAC D. go back to E-Tag V, rattle our, spears and our shields. You're like, yeah, fight us, yeah. Objective done. All right, fuck it, we're going home.
Anywhere but Delve, baby. Anywhere but Delve.
Colby, did scarcity really fuck y'all and like y'all's little skirmishes that you have in the wormholes and everything?
Look, Father Delve, if you want to come and chat with us, man, jump on the Discord and we'll drag you in.
No, scarcity, I mean, considering most of our guys are PvPers anyway, we don't really worry too much about the resources. But, I mean, we still get our belts and that sort of stuff as we normally do. And to me, not much has changed apart from the Athanor change when they got rid of normal ores from Athanors. Apart from that, I don't think that much has changed, really.
I know the fucking faction module market was like crushing me.
Yeah, blood modules are so expensive now. You guys fucked that up.
Yeah, I don't know why. Why would you invade us? Like, we kept the best modules cheap as fuck.
I'm actually curious how many of the because we had a bunch of people like buying your capitals and stuff off contract. I mean, probably the same as you guys were doing to us. I'm actually curious with us moving how many of those went back up onto the 1DQ market.
Quite a few.
I wonder how
To
many
be
got
honest.
like flipped back and forth between like
I'd say quite a few.
like alts and shit like that.
But holy shit, your file saves were atrocious. Like,
Yeah,
please do
I
better.
couldn't find anything that was worthwhile buying. Like, literally everything was cheaper in Windy Q.
Yeah, this guy's like, I'm fire selling my dread, 4 bill, just for the hull. Fuck off.
But like it's still
I fire sold
better
my
for a
stuff in DQ.
wormholer to buy a dread in K-Space on any of the contracts than it is for us to even remotely make it, right? Like we just make the ISK out of the blue loot and buy the dread. Like there's zero concept of building a capital in a wormhole right now.
Yeah, Father Delve in stream chat says the best fire sales were the ones where he took stuff out of open SMAs.
Oh my god, we kept pinging. Close your fucking SMAs. It went out with every move up ping. Do this, jump like this, close your SMAs, and people were still coming up to like SRP and shit going, oh, someone stole my stuff. And we're just like, you're an idiot.
Shout out to Joey's arm for providing me with the officer cloak for my marshal. Cheers, Bolt.
That's so poetic that you got Joey Zam.
Was that the one that gated into Windy Q in like a terror or something?
I don't
With
know
the
which
officer
one.
click on it? No, there was a T1 industrial
Probably.
that gated into Windy Q with the officer click on it.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that guy.
Probably, yeah. But shout out Joey's arm. Bless up.
Yeah, I thought that wormholers use a lot of battleship comps. That's why I was.
Not really. So the problem is mass. So FCs are constantly calculating the mass from jump to jump because not every wormhole has the same mass, and not every wormhole is massed the same way. So battleships are quite heavy, unless they're Triglavian or Sisters of Eve, to be fair. No, battle cruisers tend to be the main line. So Nighthawks, Drekavacs, Slipneers tend to be the main things you'll see in fleets. Amongst some small stuff like Icky Turses or whatever. It's a really different comp to Null. Like you guys are fast kiting hacks, right? Like that's your thing. Like max range, most alpha, because you guys can form 250 people in a fleet. So alpha is really important. It's not, you don't get 250 man fleets in wormholes. That would be an anomaly. So we can really embrace some of the smaller and other doctrines.
Yeah.
To be fair though, surgical strike has really hurt us. Like it's hard for a junior FC to fight at the moment because more damage close up, less EHP means that people die quicker. And you know what? Like we've all been junior FCs, right? Like you know how frustrating and confusing it is when people are dying. Like you freeze up. And that's the worst thing about surgical strike in wormholes is that people die, and then a junior FC is like, oh shit, people are dying. I need to run, right? When they don't have to, but it's really frustrating.
Yeah, I think most hack doctrines are close range, kitey stuff. Goons were the only ones with brawling hacks because we are able to do it on gates like we had sacrileges and scram eagles.
Yeah, so in wormholes you'll have sacks, you'll have demosses, for sure. Like they're things that could totally happen, and it's really cool, right? Like it's not always kitey because the thing in wormholes is if you try to kite someone, they'll just leave. Like you know what I mean? Like there's no tackle.
Sacks are the best hack in the game. No one can tell me otherwise.
I miss A-hacks.
Serbs get the bitches.
I was dude, I put together so many fucking thoraxes and shit just to go like at 0 on fleets whenever in anticipation of like the big fleet brawls, but it never happened.
Yeah, I think in nullsec, and again, I've only had a very limited exposure to nullsec, but you guys tend to have a lot of spy stuff, like where people are in other people's comms and all that sort of shit.
Mhm.
And that tends to ruin some of your really, I think, amazing fights at the smaller level. Like, ignore the big stuff. We don't have that in wormholes. Like, you generally don't have any idea what the enemy's going to do, and that's super exciting. And I wonder if you guys, if there was a way to remove that spying concept of what the other fleet is doing, I wonder if the smaller scale fleets would be like that much more epic.
I remember FCing back in the day, and it wasn't who had the better placed comm spy, it was who had the most fucking scouts who could relay information.
Yeah.
And truthfully, I miss that. I mean, don't get me wrong, the whole espionage fucking aspect of it is like definitely helpful, but I kind of miss just having that scepter follow a fleet to let
Yeah.
their numbers and where they are, and you've got dot land open on the other map, and you're trying to work out the quickest way and where to fight. And now it's just like, yeah, the spy stuff kind of takes a lot of the suspense and intrigue out. Oh, I guess it adds the intrigue, but you know what I'm trying to say. It
Yeah,
takes out a
100%.
lot of the, oh shit, there's a fucking fleet on top of me. Where the hell they come from? What's going on with my scouts? Your scouts taking a slash and miss the fucking the hack fleet that jumped through the system he was keeping eyes in.
Just like less unknowns make for a less interesting experience.
Yeah, I mean, no spies would be nice, but that's just the
Not
reality
going to
of
happen, right?
You can't put that genie back in the bottle. It's
Yeah,
like,
no, I get it. Like I again, very short. I did just short of like 8 months with Legacy. Had a lot of fun. Like, don't get me wrong, it was great. But I did find as I elevated through the different levels of FCing, like you got up to higher levels, I found more and more I was just offered like, here's what the enemy's doing. It's like, it's good because like I follow that thing, right? Like it's like, oh, smelly rag, gotta chase that. But sometimes I think the purest FCing is when you just don't know what's going to happen, right? Like, I don't know if I can take this fight, guys, but we're going in or whatever.
yeah, it's almost like, I don't know. I always whenever I play like other video games like Sims, for example, or no, actually not Sims. That's not a good one.
Yeah, I banged a lot
Like
of neighbors
I
in that.
thought you said simps. I was like,
total annihilation, or like other games where you enter the cheat codes and like you get advanced and stuff like that. It takes the challenge away from it, and
yeah.
but
It,
as is Eve.
you've either got to grow with the changes in the warfare, or if you try to keep it to the old way, you just end up becoming irrelevant.
Yeah, 100%. No, I truly get why it happens and why it will continue to happen out there. For sure.
It's like if it's an advantage that you can have, if you don't do it, then you're on the back foot. So everyone always like descans the enemy fleet, checks their fleet comp. What's the kind of matchup? Is it
Check
a
C
reasonable fight to
kill.
take?
What's their usual fit? Where's their hole? Stick it in Python.
Yeah. But talking about what's going to happen, Ichinumi is in Dell reported that. What do we think is going to happen there?
he's got like 12 retributions, so not much.
So to answer your question, Father, no, it's not that different. So Father asked a question like, hey, if you warp a small wormhole fleet, is that not different to hundreds of hacks? And so hundreds of hacks versus a small wormhole fleet, it's very difficult to link the two. Like a small wormhole fleet to me is like 5 to 10 guys, right? So arguing is 5 to 10 ships lost. So what, like, I don't know, let's say they're really blingy. Let's say it's 5 to 10 bill versus a hack fleet of hundreds. No, it's not the same. 100-man wormhole fleet is a big deal, right? Like that's like, yeah. I think you're breaking the two a little bit there.
Clarion call. Oh god, those videos were amazing.
Yeah, I actually have a real life fraternity brother who is higher up in Laserhawks or whatever. And we always talk shit back and forth with each other.
But
Like
actually,
the wormhole versus nullsec grudge match.
while we got you here, Bill, did you go to New Orleans or?
I did not. I was actually in Napa, California. It was like my first vacation in fucking a year and a half or so.
Going for the NASCAR?
Yeah. Um, Eve went down.
Yeah, it's called downtime.
that-
yeah,
is
time's
that-
now
It's
time.
a unique thing about this time of day.
Yeah, Bill, this
That's-
happens every day for us. Welcome.
That's why I used the word down. That's I said Eve went down.
Ah, my scouts.
Weird. Eve went down.
Where were you
Wonder
running
what
at
that-
the moment? Is there anywhere we should get some things staged?
Oh yeah, so if you got any more questions from Hammy Ham?
My excavators.
Crow,
What was the question?
have you got any more of the questions from Hammy Ham?
Let me take a look. Yeah, basically the question is, we discussed it before we went on stream. How's your evac going? You're stuck halfway. A, why? B, when do you think it'll be over?
Not stuck, just taking stock, letting people catch up. We've got people coming back from holidays and stuff like that, so we're trying to make sure there's a point they can get to where they don't feel like they have to travel halfway across the galaxy by themselves. And then yeah, once the move fleets start dropping in numbers to like just a trickle, is probably when we'll start moving up to the next leg of the journey again.
What's interesting, right, is I logged into an alt in Horde today because we all have Horde alts. It's not exactly a secret. You can check how many of your court members are in what system, and even if they're offline, it'll tell you where they were last.
Is that through Auth or something?
No, that's through the in-game map. So wherever they logged off, they will be on that map. And Pandemic Horde Inc. has over 800 characters still in T5Z.
Those are all our alts.
Like, are they all our alts? Is the question. The answer is probably more than we'd want to admit, but that's still a lot
Am I
of
the
dudes.
only person without a Horde fucking alt?
Oh, that's easy to get
I'll
into,
admit
man.
I do not have a Horde ult. Or any nullsec ults.
You just make an alt and just apply, and they'll accept anyone with a pulse.
Continue to rat your carriers.
Why would you want Horde alts as a test person though? Like, are you allowed to whale Horde rockwalls or something?
No, but I was just like everyone apparently has got or has at some point had a Horde alt, and I've never have, even when we weren't in part of Pappy. I don't know, as I said before, the espionage spying kind of shit, it isn't my cup of tea. Like, I'll use the resource available to me, but I don't know, I kind of feel shitty, you know, like integrating myself just to backstab them. That it kind of goes against who I am as a person.
Yeah, I only have horde alts to do bait silos.
I'd rather shoot you in the face than stab you in the back.
You're doing like the equivalent of putting on some glasses and like a fake nose and mustache in terms of integration with a Horde alt. Like, I wouldn't feel too bad about it.
That's a pretty good analogy.
You got any other of the questions, Crow?
No, the other was like, so you're halfway there. When do you think it'll be over? So you said like when there's a trickle, or do you think like when do you guys have a set end date? Because if you just leave it open ended, it's never gonna be over.
When everybody can afford fuel.
Jesus fucking Christ, fuel prices just the same as goddamn Australia at the moment. It's like $1.90 for a 95 at the Caltex.
It's very expensive to get petrol at the gas pump.
Yes, gas is very expensive at the fuck. What do you call petrol stations over there?
Gas pump. Gas
A
pump. Right?
gas station.
Gas is very expensive at the gas station. Yeah, service station. Or I used to call it the pedo station, but a lot of people were like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you know, the petty station, the petrol station." You know. You're muted again, apparently, Luke.
Okay, I think I've figured out what it is. Can you hear me
With a
now?
T.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. For some reason, when I'm tapping to Discord, OBS doesn't pick my mic up, which is kind of stupid, but whatever.
Yeah, we'll bug
Uh,
Redline to actually sit down with us and fucking get this shit sorted.
I think you have to set up a secondary capture.
Yeah, I've got like a mic audio source capture set up, but whatever. I'm not here to talk about the stream setup.
I'm very excited by it though.
Yes, Sin's learning stuff he needs to know for Eve Down Under.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely come to Eve Down Under. It's gonna be great.
But yeah, look, move's gone fine. We've had some fuck ups, obviously, as it normally happens. But yeah, look, shit's gone good. I think morale's gone pretty good now that we've got a direction and a focus. I've been trying to take fleets out and stuff. There was a wormhole the other day that was a couple of jumps from where we're sitting at the moment into 1DQ, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go fuck with the goons.
I think Tess would really enjoy living in wormholes. You guys should definitely take Sov in wormholes.
Well, definitely let Darren be in lead of that.
Yeah, well, maybe not him.
If you look at our kill board, you can see that some of our guys go out and fuck with goons like almost every day. Like on our kill board, I see it pinging while I'm working that, and there's like fucking 50 kills because our guys are gate camping in 1DQ and DTAC W and all through that sort of main T5 area through there. And like even our kill board today, there's literally like 20 to 30 kills, just all goons. It's pretty
That's
funny.
you fuckers
Yeah.
that are camping the
We
pipe.
just treat it like bleach in the gene pool, right?
Yeah.
Like if you can't read an intel channel and die to the random wormholers in DW, then you kind of deserve it. So
That's my favorite culture in goons versus frat. Like frat are like wormholers, form a mutant fleet, let's fuck them up. Whereas goons are like, you should have realized there's wormholers. Just die, get off comms, die quietly.
It's been in the intel channel for like an hour, boys. Like we know if we go there in any form of fleet, they'll just dip.
It's my favorite. It's a very Western thing to be like, well, we told you an hour ago, so die. Whereas the Chinese are like, we've got you, buddy. We'll save you.
Because it's all nano shit that we use for that. I used to even do the honey hunters that used to hunt 1DQ constantly. I've like Marshy and all that crap that used to be there constantly, and that was pretty funny as well. I used to I had a goon character, and I used to transfer my super carrier over, and then we'd walk carriers off the undock, and my super would just kill them and then sino out. Then I'd switch characters again. I don't have any goon ults anymore, so I don't care about saying it now. But
They got found out, or
no, never found out. I brought them over to wormholes just because I didn't. It was boring. I used to give sell goon dreadnoughts over to the honey hunters and that they'd use them to drop on the titans and everything. Pretty much all those dreads and that they got, I supplied them. All the carriers, that sort of stuff. I'd buy them for cheap goon prices and then trade them over and make a profit. It was great fun. I had a bit of fun.
Wait. Please tell me which corp you're in. I just want to see if.
It doesn't matter anymore. This was years ago, my friend. This was probably about a year and a half ago. I have no characters in nullsec anymore. Nullsec's just the politics, and it's just not fun. It's just not as fun as it used to be. But yeah, we live in a C2 with a nullsec C5 now, and hunting nullsecers is a lot more entertaining.
All right, we have a new member on the stream. Welcome, Father Dell. You want to give yourself a quick introduction?
Hello, I'm Father Delph. Good time zone, everyone. I don't have to say anything, but I will act like Marius. And just handle me like Marius.
Sounds good to me.
I don't know what that means. Do I handle him delicately?
No, so Marius is a regular on Trash Talk Tuesday, and the ongoing meme is just when he ever talks is just tell him to shut the fuck up, Marius. And that, like, Trash Talk Tuesday is now selling shut the fuck up Marius merchandise.
We've got a sticker in the disc. Shut up, Marion.
I've got another 20 more minutes before I'm going to go because I've got this Chinese CCP Alliance tournament to go to.
Oh yeah, you were going to talk a little bit about that, weren't you?
Well, I don't know if I do. I know nothing. I know nothing. So CCP is running the Alliance tournament as we know it in, is it November? December? Whatever. Like there's the one that everyone knows is advertised. There's actually another one. There's a Chinese one that's running this weekend and next weekend. So there's only 2 Western groups that are actually in there. So there's my alliance, Unchained, and there's also Odin's Call, but the rest are all Chinese. So I know Frat have pulled all of their FCs into one team, so that'll be a really hot team to look at. But yeah, some of the big Chinese groups are competing. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Is that on like Singularity or is that on Trank?
No, it's in Thunderdome, so it's all CCP sponsored. Like there's commentators and all that sort of shit. I wish I could. Let me see if I can find a link. Let me ask the dude. But yeah, like it's a legit thing, right? Like I mean, we're getting fucking some pretty blingy prizes for this.
That's pretty nice. That's actually
Yeah.
pretty good to hear.
Yeah. So
I
we'll
know
see how we
that there
go.
was some hate for the Alliance tournament, but at the same time, like if it's something that you like, then I'm happy that you got it. It doesn't interest me in the slightest, and I wish it was something else. But I'm happy that people got something they've been asking for
Yeah.
so long.
100%, man. Like I get that. Like, and I'm not that keen on it, but it's just something different, right? Like why not? Like and for the guys, like it's 10v10. It's exactly the same rules as the Alliance tournament. For the guys that are going to go into it, like it'll be 20 minutes of sheer terrifying glory or not, and we'll see how we go.
Yeah, some people on Reddit when the Alliance tournament was announced were like, it's not a scarcity undo or whatever, and it's like, shut the
But that's
fuck up.
coming, right? Like that's the next thing. Like we'll see scarcity unpack itself before Christmas.
It'll be
Yeah,
interesting to see how it changes.
People are asking for the Alliance tournament for ages and got really upset when it was announced because they wanted something else more.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like Alliance tournament is for Eve players; it's not for new players. And so, in the last few years, CCP was like, "Well, we want new players," and you can't justify it. Like the Alliance tournament doesn't bring in new people. Like no one looks at that and's like, "That's a great game." You know what I mean? Because it's shit to watch. But for an Eve player, they get it. Like they understand what's happening in those grids. So
Oh, a new player wouldn't even know what the ships are and the strategies, let
right?
alone
Yeah,
actually
it's
be able to
just
understand what we
yeah,
do in that. Like,
yeah.
I'm actually interested in the fact that you're saying that Frat has a full FC team, and I'm
Yeah,
sure that
yeah.
anyone here who has FC'd and been in comms with more than just yourself know how much of a clusterfuck that can be.
Oh man, I hope so. Like we're versing
there'd
them
have to be
next
a
weekend.
chain. There'd have to be a
Yeah.
chain of command, right? Like, you can't have more screaming. Like,
Frat has enough FCs to fill the fleet.
Yeah.
yeah,
There's-
they've only got 2 people entered in one team. Yeah, 2v10.
Beep up.
I mean, it's more a comment on how Norris is the only guy that really pulls numbers. But yeah.
No, I've worked throughout the last 13 months with a bunch of the Frat FCs. Some of them are pretty good blokes, and they pull the numbers, and they do their best. It's like fucking power to them. I wish them luck.
Anyway, I'm gonna go. Thank you for hanging around. We'll let you guys keep talking slander at each other.
Adios.
Thanks,
ya,
Kenny
Kel.
Pro.
Join Gunsmore.
Yeah, I gotta go too.
Catch you, Bill. Good to hear your voice again, buddy. I hope you had fun on your holiday.
I did. Thank you, sir.
Oh man, if I had anything, like if I could have anything, and I apologize, Colby, if I've jumped in front of you here. So there's 2 things. So I apologize for 2. One would be just look at T3 cruisers and just come up with another thing. Because at the moment the excitement of no skill points is pretty cool, but just like another just push them one way or the other, or make them super flex, whatever. Like that would be one. I think Blops missed a trick. Like I think the Marauder changes have been really good, and we had these Blop changes and they just kind of didn't do anything. So our Blops change to make them just like people want to stream and watch that shit. And the other thing would be T3 cruisers. Like let's get them out there.
I would like to see a T3C overhaul. I believe that they did actually hit a pretty sweet spot with them a while back, and then just nerf them into the ground.
Sorry, can I say a nerf? Rock will panic. Get the fuck out. That shit is ridiculous.
One of my title on my Rorqual pilot is a panic at the moon goo, because I got up and my cat jumped on the desk and pressed the panic button, locked the entire fleet for 5 minutes.
I mean,
Like
they've already got an insane tank. Like, give them the insane tank and lose the panic. Give one or the other.
yeah, I agree. Like it shouldn't out tank a dread, and it should be invincible. Like that just doesn't make sense from a lore perspective. But anyway, whatever. That's whatever.
Purely because they're a Care Bear ship. Like they get that. You know what I mean? Like let them be killed. Like they've already nerfed them to the ground anyway. Improve their mining capability.
Where do you want me to
nerf
link
that.
this alliance tournament thing? I'll put it in the comms chatty Majiggy, the stream chat. There you go.
Yeah,
That's
put in
it.
the stream chat.
Someone Art J.
Yeah, so 12:30 is the first fight. We're actually up first, so I absolutely need to stop drinking and actually start organising my kids soon. But yeah, that's the first fight. We're versing Thunder Sword, which is a Chinese low-sec alliance. First up, and then there's a bunch of fights tonight, right? So it should be pretty cool.
Wish you luck, man.
Yeah, make sure to tune in for that, guy.
Or not.
Yeah,
Whatever.
it's been linked in Eve and TTV Twitch. So yeah, Colby, if you could have any of the doctrine changes or future doctrine ideas.
Make the Ikatursa cheaper. It's
Yeah.
such an expensive ship, but it is so much fun to form a fleet of Ikatursas and Zams. But Ikatursas, half decently fit, are overbuilt. Just make them a little bit cheaper and affordable. But I love the T3 idea. A little bit more love to them, plus the love that they've recently had with the skill points and bits and pieces. Like a good arty doctrine and that. I know a lot of groups are running around with those ham legions at the moment. Like yeah, just keep showing them a little bit of love because they're such a dynamic ship. You can do so much with them. They're always great to look at.
On a note about the T3Cs, seems like the Lokis are just by and like Proteus Legion, those other ones need a bit of a buff to kind of level them out. What do you reckon, Faltel?
What I would like to have seen is that the bubble immunity is completely removed and just tier 3 cruiser and getting those, because that would give them a niche and would make them more viable, I guess. And I would like to have seen that. That would fit into the whole covered ops cloak, sneaky thingy, and I have no idea why. I mean, they removed it, right? And gave the module to certain ships, and I think that would have given the T3 cruisers a special point in the game. While we now have, I mean, what are you flying in? There are rail tangus, and it's a very specific point where you use them.
It should be fearful. Like if you see another fleet forming T3 cruisers, you should be like, "Whoa, what are they doing?"
Exactly.
Yeah, and that would make it really cool in Eve, right? Like, holy shit, they've formed a T3 cruiser. Like, this means business.
Yeah. And you're already bringing 300 to 500 million on the grid, so give them this niche and remove it from everything else what we have right now.
That's a good way to transition onto Happy's rail tengus. Obviously, that fell flat of the expectation of like being some fearful, expensive ship that would be like a deal breaker. But no, just died to a bunch of Ishtars.
I don't actually know what happened there. I wasn't a part of the planning for either the doctrine or the what we tried to do with them.
Well, watching
the only time I've ever fucked with T3Cs was as a Logi commander back when they were strong, and as an FC back when they were like top tier fucking FC ships.
watching the video of the Happy Tengus getting dicked on, you can just see Shattered Armor like anchoring them in a straight line as they're just continually being bubbled. It was never really gonna work out very well for them. Although it probably could have gone a bit better if he actually knew how to get his fleet out of a bubble.
Was it the easiest way out of the bubble is it's the cops, scatter.
Wonder what would happen if he actually said that in comms. People would just be very confused and like, lose their clients or something. What's your opinion of Shattered Armor as an FC, as the test coordinator, Kale?
I am.
What's Shattered Armor?
Shattered Armor is the one of the brave mill directors, whatever they call them in Brave.
Oh, it's a person, right? I
Yeah,
thought it
it
was
is
a
a
dog.
person. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I like Shattered. I've talked to him a fair bit. We've come up with some pretty good doctrine ideas. It was he who helped me rework on the Fozzie claws that we played with towards the end. They were fun. We got some tasty kills with those. I like Shattered. I know he gets a lot of hate. I don't know why. I've personally never had an issue with him, and that's not just me trying to like blow smoke up people's asses. Like I've legit never had a bad conversation with Shattered before. I know that there's people like, oh, I remember back when he did this and rah rah rah, but you know, people change.
He's generally perceived as the person that kind of led to Brave moving into Curious and hence getting kicked back out and kind of being homeless at the moment.
All right, dudes. I need to excuse myself.
Good luck with
Unless
the
there's
fun,
anything
mate.
for me, I'll need to leave you guys with it.
No, look,
Thanks
thanks
for
for
coming on
coming
the
on,
show, Sim.
Sin. I appreciate it.
If you're under, come to it. It'll be great.
Yeah, hurry up and post what the fuck's going on.
I will.
What's
Once
channel?
I need to stop drinking and stop running fleets. But yes, I will.
And none of us have the organizer title yet in the Discord channel. Come on, man, get on.
See you, friends. Everyone have a great Sunday night. If you want to words. Eve, Nullsec, Rockwells. Bye.
Gotcha.
See you, man.
I don't know what happened with the drop to try to take out the jammers. Same deal. I just heard basically what happened. Shit happens. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off. But as I'm not a part of Brave or Brave leadership, so I really don't know what's going on over there.
Yeah, from like a goon perspective, we just like as soon as you guys released the fits for the AB rail tankers, we were just like, what the fuck is this? This is never gonna work. And kind of just fell on its face as we expected.
We should have sent in Feroxes and Retributions. My two favorite doctrines.
Yeah, I don't know what your obsession with Retributions is about. Not the
I love
kind
Retributions.
of most capable doctrine.
Dude, retros are great. They fit so many like little niches. Like I've argued with a lot of the other FCs in test over the pros and cons of retries, and I've taken the fleets out and absolutely dumpstered other shit with them. And they're like, "Oh, I don't understand how you could do that." And it's called, and I'm turning around to them like, "It's called good FCing and knowing what you're doing." You know, it's possible. It's like when was it you that we trapped in the Harpy fleet up over in Period Basis, or was it one of the other guys?
Period basis. I haven't been to period basis in like half a year.
Someone went out to go kill a Rorqual with bombers and harpies, and we ended up trapping them in the system. We had half the numbers, and we
Oh
engaged.
right, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and you guys ended up having to form a hack fleet to try to come save the harpies. So we just bled the harpies as much as we could and just like moonwalked home.
How I remember it was I can't remember like all that well, but all I can remember is that we were fighting your retributions in system and going alright, but then you kind of like kept streaming in reinforcements and it was a dead end system, so we were kind of fucked there. But we ended up okay.
Yeah, I think the most confusing thing for us was like you had twice the numbers, like including the bombers, and then suddenly the bombers like bridged out and left you guys, and we're like, if they actually like brought the bombers in to do shit, well, they would have actually won the fight.
I'm not sure how effective bombers are against retributions.
Oh, you guys had bombing bombers.
With focused voids for Rockwall.
Probably, yeah. I don't know. We rocked up after the rock was dead, so I only know there were bombs, not what they were. Man, void bombs are nasty. I don't know. We got a guy in Test Chandalia who used to just fly around in every fleet with a void bomber. It was we sit there, we'd scream at him, but like getting a fucking doctrine ship, and then we get into a fight, and he like void bombs the enemy fleet, and we're like, huh, okay, all right, that works.
Yeah, it's ridiculous like how effective void bombs are. Get like 1 or 2 hits off with on hacks with prop mods on and you cap them out. So it's part of why in its what are they? Stukas, they're so scary. It's like you warp on top of them at 0, and then void bomb the enemy hack fleet, and then just munch on them with Kikimora DPS.
Yeah, I want a Triangle Boy Doctrine. I like him.
You don't have Kikis in test?
Not as like a mainline Doctrine.
What do you use to kill Rorquals then? Or just not kill Rorquals?
Oh, there hasn't been any many Rorquals for us to kill for the last 13 months, so we've got to start rebuilding that kind of shit.
It's awesome because you can spool up on the panic mode of the Rorqual, and then you start after the panic mode in full DPS. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
And even just without the spore, or like a couple seconds into the spore, you do way more DPS than a hack, I believe.
Yeah.
Kikis are super killers. It's crazy.
760 or so, fully spooled up.
You should be able to get almost 1,000, I think, with Outfit.
Okay.
Fully spooled with Orkol. But yeah, it was scary. Like I think it was last night we went out to kill some Horde Rorquals and ended up warping our Kikis at 0 on a Horde Eagle fleet. And they just got webbed down, and yeah, bye bye to a lot of hack. Lost a similar amount of Kikis, but it's like obviously you come out on top of that if you're literally at 0 on them.
Yeah. Eagles are
Kikimoras
great.
are a fun
You
doctrine.
gotta know how to fly them.
I mean, they're not exactly the most complicated doctrine. I'm not sure how most people feel
fly them
about it,
like
but they're kind
humans.
of boring.
Yeah, like I see a lot of people try to fly eagles as Munins, and you're like, they're not Munins. There's there's subtle changes. It'd be like trying to fly Cerberus, a Cerb as a Munin. It's like it doesn't work that in the same way. Oh, speaking of, we went into a system to go kill a couple of caps that were shooting one of the keep stars, and the enemy FC literally ran his Serb fleet into our Munins at 0, just straight line towards us. Don't do that, kids.
Wait, when was this and what situation and what FC?
I can't remember. We got pinged by a couple of allies like, hey, can you form and help us grab units? I was like, all right, cool. So we were jumping from UQ. I think it was like 10 jumps and a bridge. Because one of the keep stars were getting shot in whole timer. And yeah, so they had caps on the field. As soon as we jumped in, they jumped all the caps off, but they gated in a couple of caps because they had a sonar jammer up. So we were blasting away at the caps, and they brought in the Serb fleet and then burnt towards us, like out of bubbles, like not in bubbles or anything, but like they warped to a ping and then just started burning straight down towards us. And I'm like, fish in a barrel.
Who was it that you're fighting that decided to burn directly at you and Munins with Serbs?
I have no idea. Give me a sec. I'll open up ZKill and see if I can find it.
Truly innovative strategy. Just Doppler.
Yeah, 0 transversal. Yes, thank you.
How is it for you, Luke, to adjust your ammunition as an FC in a Munin in massive tie-dye fights? That was for me a big problem because every reload takes so much time and splits your alpha. Is that a problem compared to a Serb or another hack, I would say?
I haven't had like much experience doing Munins in heavy tie.
Yeah, AU don't get much tie-dye. It's great.
Yeah, the one time we did get like super heavy tie-dye was like when we had 1,500 people in 1DQ, I believe. And the main problem there was like modules getting stuck. People would shoot their guns once, the target would die, and then their guns would just flash red.
Yeah, I remember that.
People said the solution was to spam the button or switch it from F1 to F2. But I think it was just like the server shitting itself and having to catch up. The consequence of that being that a lot of hacks had their ADC stuck on, so it was a bit of a slow fight. Even if it was like in real time killing like.
Yeah, because it's such a pain in the ass to reload or even switch ammo on an RT ship, even on a med RT, I would say. I remember when we were flying Macarials, that was so bad. On this one Beanstar, the French Beanstar 2 or 3 years ago, this big $1 million battle, how it was called, and reloading there was, I think my last gun reloaded after 3 or 4 hours. That was disgusting.
Oh god, yeah, getting stuck with red modules and just, swapping, ungrouping, regrouping, all that stuff taking like 20 minutes to try to get it to stop flashing red.
So that's why I think a SERP is easier, because you have technically one ammo type. Maybe if you adjust your ammunition or your damage type, then it's fine, but...
I sent you the battle report, Luke.
Yeah, it's like Russians, AAA, Red Alliance.
Yeah, no forks given, yeah. Yeah, sitting Tempests with no transversal at 0 on the gate was like, okay, yum. And then, yeah, burning the Serbs directly into our teeth was like, cool. It was a bit of a pain to break there. It isn't showing on there because they got out, but they also had 2 minnows. 2 minnows and 2 apostles on field. We got the apostles, but the minnows got out.
How'd the minnows get out?
The minnows were already there. The minnows warped into a ping from the siege fort underneath the gate where the apostles gated in. So we were fighting the Tempest and everything on the gate while the Serbs were like down below. Once we finished with the Tempest, we started burning towards them, and once like we chewed through half the Serb fleet, they turned tail and ran. They had the bombers there that you can see on the battle report. Actually, I'll link it in chat. So they had the bombers there you can see on the battle report actually bombing the minnow to get the bubbles off it. So once it was unbubbled, it just ran off.
Serbs with fax is definitely a interesting call to make.
Yeah.
Like, the most kitey hack doctrine isn't supposed to be kind of tethered to a unmoving capital ship for Logi.
Didn't say it was a great idea. I just said it was an enjoyable fight. I mean, in the end of the day, that's what we're after, isn't it? Good fights.
Yeah. Anyway, back to like nullsec doctrines. Are there any other kind of weird ideas that you'd have, or buffs that you'd apply to some ships to make it more fun fighting in nullsec?
So I did toy with an idea for a while, all right, and this was to try to get into 3 TAC D, which was MJD, Hurricanes, and Feroxes.
Hurricanes would have definitely been interesting. Like,
yeah, like basically
people
try to
underestimate how cost effective they are.
Oh yeah,
and they can do a
especially
ridiculous amount of alpha.
if you get enough, yeah, like the old school Alpha Cane Arty build. Basically we'd jump in a line out, then hit our MJDs, and because I tested this with my monitor when I lost one of them, I was like, while I'm here, let's micro jump drive and see if I can make it to the edge. And I was like, all right, cool. So it's the bubbles back before you had like the 310 was like 90 something kilometers from 0 on the gate. I'm like, this could work. We could go in, MJD out, and like warp off, and then actually be in a position we want to be on the grid.
What about the Scram Eagles though?
Well, that was the thing. We'd have to get in first, and there was like, at the end of the day, like if we hit an objective, I'm fine for the losses. It's just like playing Dota or something. You go over objectives, over kills. So we would have had losses, but it would have been interesting to try it anyway. And then be in a position we wanted to be on the grid with a bunch of Alpha Canes and see how that went.
Yeah, I think even though the kind of war was won for us by the bubbles and the carriers, it would have been interesting to see if kind of new meta doctrines and whatever would be
I'm sick of
created
hacks.
for.
The
Well,
fact that the hack meta is like Eve wide is
Yeah.
frustrating.
Like hacks wouldn't work. Hacking the 1DQ IHOP. So I gotta think of something else.
CCP was on a good way to buff battleships with this new overhauled mid-slot module and nerfing hacks, etc. But then the stupid industrial patch came and the battleship was suddenly 400, 500 million again. So
Yeah,
nearly
like
2x. And
I've got some good ideas for battleships, but fuck the price.
yeah, indeed.
You can
Yeah,
fuck that right off.
I saw that Horde's suddenly doing battleships again. Their own version of Boltex, Megathrons, Apox, and Balgorns. What do you think of that?
So it's a Mega Baller fleet.
A what? A what?
Mega Ballers.
Mega Baller.
Yeah. You guys have come into ESO before the war and fought our Mega Ballers. They were one of our home defense doctrines. And when one of your FCs was having his birthday and retiring, it was what we fought in G Magic or TCAG with on the planned fight before the war. Seriously, Mega Ballers, really? You don't, mate?
I
You
only
always have French names for your stuff.
Can we just the fucking names that we call our various doctrines are fucking weird.
apparently the guy that Boltex is named after is now in Horde. So our Boltex was shooting Boltec as he was jumping into 1DQ for the final assault.
But yeah, shift towards battleship meta would be nice again, but not sure how to, because bombers are still a thing. And
Yeah.
Well, that's what the Sig Radius thing should probably be for, as like a kind of one single use or something you can only use every so often counter to bombs. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how kind of battleships shape up after the scarcity changes.
Yeah,
end
I'm
of scarcity.
hoping they drop. Like, I'm hoping prices drop. It would be good, but I think we're only going to see for the foreseeable future, just like you guys are using battleships only really being used for home defense.
I mean, yeah, test board in like Tempests and TFIs, but only ever use them on like one Astro House and NBC Delve, which I thought was kind of funny.
The problem was sourcing them. The blueprints were just not, for the TFIs at least, weren't readily available. There are other people who are using Tempest fleet issues as well, so what blueprints were there will cost too much. And then when we really started going, okay, cool, we're just gonna have to use like TFI Tempests and sprinkle in the TFIs. That's when the changes happened, and we're like, yeah, nah, this isn't cost effective. You're spending a shit ton to try to get in the blueprints to make the ships, just to have the ships cost a shit ton.
but what do you think it needs to change the meta? Because I think we need a massive overhaul of all ships to get us away from those handful of fleets we have, like Feroxes, Hex, and I mean that's it already, right?
That's a sound I have not heard in a long time. So happy we've moved away from Pigeon.
Sorry, buddy.
No, it's all you just gave you like fucking PTSD flashbacks from the old days of Pigeon.
Works pretty well.
Yeah, look, I like to see the same thing. I mean, I know people give me a lot of shit for the fact that if I have a choice to, I won't take out our usual, Munins or Eagles because I try to shake things up. But I would like to see something. But I'd truthfully like to see Abaddons in use. I really like the Abaddon. I don't know
I
why.
remember Init had an Abaddon fleet that kind of did alright. I think it like face tanked a couple of your hack fleets at some point and died in a glorious fire, but went pretty well regardless. But yeah, Laserboat's cool.
Oh yeah, especially with the drone skin. I think that looks amazing. The ship's like falling apart. You can see the drones coming in, the rogue drones coming out of it.
The cryptic mazes.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that one out. It's probably like It's probably like 5 billion Jita though, or something.
I think it's 3. I believe someone said
Close
when
enough.
I was talking about it last stream. But yeah, no, I would definitely like to see a move away from that, from the hack meta, because it's just what's going to come because it's cookie cutter and everyone uses except for you guys with your Brawly Eagles. I think it's Brawly Eagles or is it Brawly Mutants?
It's the Scram Eagle. Swap the cat booster for a Scram.
Yep.
You just brawl them wherever they are. But
Yeah.
talking about cookie cutter doctrine, something that's not a cookie cutter doctrine, tornadoes. What are your opinion of those? I know Tess tried to like copy a version of Delta Squad's tornadoes at some point in the war.
We fought against them before the war with Farah and stuff up in Stain and down the pipe to ESO, and yeah, we gave it a go. But I will tip my hat off to Psychotic Turtle and all that. Like they definitely fucking are masters of the tornado, and it's we could do it too. It just takes time and experience, and it's like why take out this many 26 30 tornadoes when we can stick those guys in the mutant fleet and do the same, like increase our alpha.
I remember in Delta
Do
Squad. Oh, go ahead, Cole.
I was going to say you do it with a few hyenas or something, right? We I think it was maybe Fred or something, some nullsec group. They some of our guys were engaging a chimera and they were starting to undock more caps on top of a Fortizar. So we formed in our wormhole and went out and we fought them on their Fortizar grid. And we only had maybe like 4 or 5 guardians and then just some Mikaturses and other armor DPS. And most people were multi-boxing multiple accounts for that. And we ended up killing the Chimera and almost getting the Moros, but killing a bunch of other bits and bobs on the Fortizar grid throughout that whole fight. And then they ended up bringing about like 40 tornadoes with a couple of like hyenas and that to web down and target paint. And that started to alpha 1 or 2 things, and it's like, yeah, we better get out of here. But that was an interesting fight, and the tornadoes, like you said, like the alpha is hard to deal with unless we noticed who was being locked up and started repping them and get the
Yeah.
reps on them beforehand. But if you're not keeping up with that perfectly, as you said, that alpha is just overwhelming, and it sort of even gets to that point. Once you've got maybe more than 20, it's almost just just having fun with numbers. Really, not even all of them
20,
get on the kill
22
mark.
tornadoes can alpha a mutant and even a TFI.
Yeah, exactly. Like once you got more, half of them don't even get on the kill mark. You know what I mean?
Yeah, tornadoes are a hard counter to Serbs and Munins. I
But the
remember we
problem
used
with
Tremor for Eagles, and we could do that
They
with
need
like
that
30.
support though.
yeah, you need to
Yeah.
swap out for a set, like swap out for the range. But the problem with the NATOs though is if you don't have a shit ton of pings on the grid and you're fighting where you want to fight, then it kind of becomes unusable. You know what I mean? Like if we're fighting in a random system, you guys don't have pings. It's like, cool. What are you gonna do? You warped to like 30 office, and we just shoot you. If
Yeah,
we're
we'd
like,
never use it without a gridded grid.
yeah,
Make like just a bookmark pack for each system or something. And we could fight on every gate. That was what we had planned for the Wendy Q constellation.
Well, that works. Like if you're like on a gate or an iHub or a structure, it works perfectly fine. We did it against Farah on one of the Omega Fortizars. We had pings ranging from like 50 to like 2,000 or something out, so we could bounce around. But without that, they're just not useful. They're fucking annoying, I'll tell you that much, though. I hated versing them.
You've got to fly in one to like understand how satisfying it is to like lock up one thing, shoot it, and the next thing it's dead.
Oh no, we did. I don't. There's been a couple of times where you guys were streaming in the T5Z, and even Kitab, one of the Black Omega guys, was handing out tornadoes and be like, "All right, guys, let's have some fun." And we would just volleying, like single volleying things off the field, warping back to the Satoyo. And if you guys were stupid enough to follow us, we had a gunner who just cleared everything off us.
It's a cool story about how one time you guys were bashing an Astra house in NL, and we brought out tornadoes to kind of like waterboard you guys as you killed them. And once it was done, all the carriers pulled their fighters except for one, and it happened to be some shit fit carrier that didn't have like any buffer mods fit. He didn't have boosts. He wasn't locked up by fact. So we decided to go for it with the tornadoes and got him down to half structure in one volley with like 30-40 dudes.
Yeah, fucking NATOs are dirty, dude. They do some crazy DPS for what they are.
They're just annoying when they're there.
Oh no, if there's a mutant fleet there, you just load titanium saber and shred them.
Yeah, but it depends if they're in range. Like, you gotta think, they can hit 120, 130 by a tornado.
No,
Just
they
quickly,
they
sorry.
can't hit to 130.
Just quickly, I just have to excuse myself, guys. I gotta head off. But thank you for the opportunity to come on. It's nice to chat with everybody. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks for coming,
Thanks,
Cole. We're
Cole.
sorry if we ended up like just talking over you, man.
It's all good, my friend. It's been a long day. I've just driven from really 3.5 hours after work. It's been great. But all good, guys. It's been a pleasure, and I'm sure I'll see you guys all in the future. Thank you very much.
Catch you then. Thanks for coming on and giving us
Have a
some
good night.
wormhole insight.
No worries. Happy to do it. Have a good night, guys.
Alright, I think we should probably start wrapping up the show here. What do you reckon, Cal?
Yeah, man. Fuck. 2 hours yet.
Final
I think
thoughts?
we pretty much exhausted everything. I'll let you go first.
I'm just looking forward to like moving into new places with new groups and new people to shoot new enemies with new ships. So lots of new stuff to look forward to in the future, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep, Cal.
Yeah, once again, EDU, November 19th, online. Should come check it out. Be really cool. For, as I said before, everyone in Legacy who may or may not be watching, I wish you luck in everything that you guys are doing. I know Legacy's falling apart. I've had an absolute blast flying with all you guys, and I seriously hope you guys find success in whatever endeavors. And to the Goonies, good fight.
Final
I'm
thoughts?
splashing lately, so I don't know if I have to say something, but I think I'm happy that those months of stagnation are over, and
Yeah.
I hope we are looking to new conflicts, but not that kind of stale conflicts that just bore the shit out of everyone. So I really hope we have more conflicts now, and it's not like the last 13 months again.
Yeah, onto bigger and better thing. Alright, we'll wrap it up.
Also, you can't have Atticus or Hode.
You will give them to me sooner or later.
Didn't Howard quit? What's up?
I think he quit, yeah.
Yeah, he like dropped Corp and
yeah, he's got to do some real life shit.
He like dropped Corp and Thunderdomed with his dread until it died. That was glorious. We're gonna wrap up the show. Thanks everyone for coming. Thank you for watching.
See you next Tuesday.
See you in the next Tuesday. Yeah, hopefully we'll run this same time next week. So see you all then, and see you on Tuesday. Bye bye.
Catches.